Hi guys, I'm with the review spot with another interview. So if you're a fan of him, you can just listen in, see if something you like. So Spot,
Yes.
what what was your favourite toy line from the 80s?
Well, favorite toy line would probably be either G.I. Joe or Transformers. As much as I like Transformers, I would probably say I still always fell back to G.I. Joe.
Yeah, it's a real cool line that. And why is this your favourite toy?
I always like the idea of having a really small figure, and I always like the fact that G.I. Joes were super articulated. You could bend the elbow, you could bend the leg, the knee, everything. I also really like the idea that it was one of the only few lines that from the 80s that you could actually build. Well, actually, there's a couple of toy lines that did it, but I love the idea of building your own vehicles. You would open up a blueprint, you put the pieces together, slap the stickers on. I always loved that. I always thought it was a cool toy line.
You're absolutely right there, man. What is your favourite toy company that you have ever bought something from?
I think that's easy. That I'd have to go Hasbro. G.I. Joe, Transformers. As far as I know, Visionaries as well was also Hasbro. My sister growing up, huge fan of My Little Pony, so I mean it was a Hasbro house. There was very few things that I had that was Mattel. Mostly, I would say Hasbro.
Okay, now moving on to a different subject. What is the worst superhero slash villain?
Worst superhero, worst villain. I probably would say one villain, and I think a lot of people are going to be surprised by this, but one villain I've never been a big fan of is Carnage. I don't know if I would say he's the worst villain, but he's definitely not a villain I'm a fan of. He always seemed to me like just a copy of Venom, just a red Venom, and I don't know, I just was never a fan of him. I always liked the original better.
Yeah, he's Venom. Yeah, he's quite cool. Now going back to toys and all. What is your favourite? What's the first toy that you can remember?
The very first toy that I ever got as a kid, I would get Tonka trucks and all that kind of stuff, but the very first, I guess, real kid's toy was the G.I. Joe Sky Striker. So, of course, goes right back to G.I. Joe as my favorite toy line growing up. I remember building it. I remember my parents helping me put the stickers on. I remember my best friend at the time had a Sky Striker as well, so we always played dog fights, outside. I love that toy. It's a shame I don't still have my original Sky Striker, but that was the very first toy I remember getting.
Yeah, cool. Talking about G.I. Joe. In G.I. Joe, what is the most interesting character?
The most interesting character. Um, well, I've always been a huge fan of Cobra Commander. I know that's probably really an easy answer, but I always loved Chris Latta, who did the voice of Cobra Commander. He's done so many cool voices, of course, Starscream, Decompose from Inhumanoids. Always a fan of all the stuff he's done, and Cobra Commander I think really just personifies a cool '80s villain. And I mean, how can you beat that dome mask? I think that's awesome. That doesn't get any better than that.
Yep, now we have stupid villains. um, what's the best film you have ever seen?
Best film I have ever seen. A couple of them. One of my favorites is Transformers, the original 1986 animated movie. Love that movie. I thought Avatar was probably one of the best movies I have ever seen. Visually, it's just incredible. See that on the big screen. Um, I would probably say Avatar. I mean, Avatar, maybe not necessarily one of my favorite movies because other movies I might have better memories of, but probably one of the best made movies I've ever seen was Avatar.
What's the worst film you've ever seen?
One of the worst movies I've ever seen, and I don't know why everybody likes this movie. I can't stand the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I do not understand. I don't understand why anyone likes that movie. In the way of horror movies, I would say probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen was Jack Frost 2. The Revenge of the Killer Snowman, which I think it was what it was called, and it's so cheaply made. It is terrible. What a terrible movie. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Jack Frost 2. It's terrible. It's beyond terrible.
I remember my mate's mum buying Jack Frost, like the first one, thinking it's a normal happy.
Was the Michael Keaton version?
Yeah, thinking it's the normal version. Ends up watching it.
That's funny.
Go back to toys. What toy line would you like to see have a comeback with the new standard articulation and new painting, stuff like that?
One toy line that I would love to see reimagined and re-released is Inhumanoids, by far. I probably would have said runner-up would have been Visionaries, but I mean Inhumanoids. I mean, imagine, if you will, a GI Joe scale Earth Core member, with the big suit, the grappling hooks, or whatever arm he had, and then have a similar scale or even a taller scale in humanoid with full articulation, maybe light up eyes, vehicles like G.I. Joe scale vehicles. I think it would be a fantastic toy line. I would love to see Inhumanoids come back in a big, big way.
What's your favourite Transformer character?
Favorite Transformer character, I would probably say for a Decepticon is Shockwave. I was always that kid that, always wanted the main character. I always wanted Optimus Prime, and I always got, like, Ultra Magnus. I always wanted a Megatron, and my grandparents got me a Shockwave. But I always loved the design of Shockwave. I loved the single eye, the arm cannon. I always liked that. I really loved his voice, too, so I probably would say Shockwave.
Okay, we've come to the end of our interview with the review spot. Any words?
Hey, thanks a lot for doing this. I think this is such a great idea. I think you really should continue to do this because it's very interesting to kind of get these reviewers off of what the regular reviews they're doing and just have candid little interviews like this. So great work to you, man, for coming up with this, and let's hope that we keep doing these reviews, these interviews.
Thanks a lot, man. And do you have any words to your subscribers?
Red, as far as we know, Red, I think is going to pull through. I'm going to get her a replacement blade. Many more reviews on the way, and yeah, I'll just wrap that up there. I guess I got nothing else to say.
Let's hope Red makes it out of surgery.
I hope so.
Right, that was the review spot. So thanks for watching, guys, and hope you enjoy this. So I'll see you around. Bye.